Imagine a highway filled with trucks, but not a single driver in sight. No steering wheels turning, no hands on the wheel, no voices on the radio. Just silence and machine precision. Welcome to the future, and China is already living in it. In a move that's sending shockwaves to the global transport industry, China has officially launched a fully operational fleet of self-driving trucks. And no, this isn't a pilot project or a demo. This is real, live, and already transforming the roads. While most countries are still ironing out regulations or stuck in testing phases, China has quietly accelerated ahead. In provinces like Jiangsu and Guangdong, hundreds of driverless freight trucks are now moving goods with zero human supervision. Powered by cutting-edge AI, 5G communication, LIDAR systems, and real-time data analysis, these trucks are built not just to drive, but to think. These aren't your average Teslas. China's autonomous trucks are loaded with military-grade sensors, high-definition environmental mapping, and neural networks that can predict road behavior faster than a human ever could. Thanks to partnerships with tech giants like Baidu, Pony.ai, and FAW, the trucks use real-time cloud updates to communicate with each other, adjusting routes, weather conditions, and even traffic bottlenecks, all without a single line of human input. This isn't just a tech flex. China is facing a massive shortage of long-haul drivers and an urgent need to cut logistics costs. With e-commerce exploding and global competition heating up, AI trucks provide a scalable, 24/7 workforce that never gets tired. It's also a geopolitical play. By dominating autonomous logistics, China is positioning itself as the leader in next-gen infrastructure, where data, not diesel, drives the economy. Critics are asking, can machines really replace human judgment on unpredictable roads? The answer from China, they already are. With millions of kilometers logged in simulation and real-world testing, these trucks have outperformed human drivers in reaction time, fuel efficiency, and accident avoidance. And with a centralized command system monitoring every truck 24/7, China's AI fleet isn't just autonomous, it's heavily supervised by a digital brain with nationwide vision. The launch of these AI trucks isn't just about China. It's a glimpse into a future we're all heading toward. A future where automation doesn't just assist us, it replaces us. From Africa to Europe, the ripples of this tech tsunami will force governments, companies, and workers to ask, are we ready to compete with a machine that never sleeps? The roads have changed, the rules have changed, and the drivers are gone. Just weeks after China's AI truck fleet rolled out, the global transport industry is reeling. Logistics companies in Europe and the U.S. are scrambling. Why? Because what China just did was more than a technological marvel. It was a warning shot. Traditional supply chains, once dominated by fleets of human-operated trucks, are now facing a silent and relentless competitor, one that runs on code, not caffeine. In the U.S. alone, more than 3.5 million people make their living behind the wheel. In India, that number climbs to nearly 10 million. What happens when governments see how much China saves by eliminating drivers altogether? This isn't science fiction. This is economic disruption at scale. Driver unions are already raising alarms. Automation watchdogs are warning of a massive labor displacement. But in boardrooms, executives are watching China's move with envy. Let's be clear. China's self-driving truck fleet isn't just about moving goods faster. It's about controlling the arteries of global trade. Think about it. If you can move products 30% cheaper, 50% faster, and 100% more predictably, who will global retailers trust more? This is what China calls logistics dominance, a strategy to own not just manufacturing, but the delivery lanes of the planet. From Belt and Road shipping to AI trucking across Asia, they're not building roads. They're building pipelines of power. In Zhejiang province, a smart factory loaded thousands of smartphones into an autonomous truck at dawn. By noon, the same shipment had already arrived at a coastal shipping hub, without stopping, without sleeping, without error. For small businesses in Europe and tech startups in Africa, the speed isn't just impressive, it's terrifying. How do you compete with that? And here's the twist. Long-haul highways are only the beginning. Chinese startups are now testing smaller autonomous trucks for city deliveries, grocery runs, warehouse logistics, even mobile vending machines. We may soon see a world where no delivery driver exists at all. Your next package? Brought to you by an emotionless, tireless algorithm. Some countries are already considering bans. Others are doubling down on regulations. But here's the truth. When something becomes too efficient to ignore, the world often follows, not resists. And with every successful trip, China's AI fleet is writing a new rulebook for global logistics. What if I told you China's autonomous trucking tech wasn't just built for commerce? Behind the scenes, defense analysts are raising red flags. These same AI systems, designed for efficiency and freight, can be repurposed into military logistics convoys, capable of transporting supplies, ammunition, or even drones through war zones without risking a single soldier. It's a dual-use strategy, civilian by day, battlefield-ready by night. In fact, recent reports suggest the People's Liberation Army, PLA, has already tested autonomous military resupply routes in remote regions. The message? These trucks aren't just transforming trade. They're redefining how nations move during war. But there's another layer, perhaps even more powerful than autonomy: data. These trucks don't just move goods. They collect traffic patterns, infrastructure weaknesses, energy grids, even facial recognition from roadside cameras. Imagine thousands of rolling surveillance hubs crossing continents, streaming live data to centralized AI cores in Beijing. It's not just logistics. It's a moving web of intelligence. And the scary part? Most of the world isn't prepared for that kind of digital infiltration. Already, whispers are emerging in Africa. Nations building new infrastructure through Chinese investment may soon receive these autonomous fleets as part of their logistics upgrades. Not because they asked, but because they were strategically offered. Latin America? Same story. China's exporting not just roads, but the trucks to ride them. In Europe, Germany, and France are considering accelerated AI mobility programs, fearful of falling behind. And what about the U.S.? Caught in regulatory red tape and union politics, it's watching from the sidelines, a dangerous position in a race it used to lead. We're nearing a moment in history where this shift, this silent steel and silicon revolution, becomes irreversible. Once AI fleets dominate the highways, it's not just drivers who lose relevance. It's the systems built around them: fuel stations, motels, training schools, insurance industries. And here's the deeper fear. When no country can compete without autonomous infrastructure, the pressure to adopt turns into a need to obey. And whoever leads that infrastructure makes the rules. If China controls the routes, the trucks, the data, and the speed, what's left for anyone else to control? Trade becomes algorithmic. Borders become programmable. And every country plugged into the system becomes part of the network. Some call this innovation. Others call it digital colonization. Whatever you call it, one thing is certain. China's self-driving trucks are only the beginning. Absolutely. Let's continue deeper into human reaction, underground resistance, and a glimpse into a near future shaped by autonomous power. We now shift from the geopolitical sphere into the societal response and the possibility of a digital uprising. Asterisk, as the cold efficiency of China's AI freight empire spreads across continents, a quiet rebellion is forming. In the United States, Europe, and even parts of Asia, a new underground movement is gaining traction. They call themselves the asterisk last drivers. These are not Luddites. They're former professionals, long haulers, couriers, fleet managers, people who dedicated decades of their lives to the road. Now displaced by code, they've gone offline, fighting not just for their jobs, but for the soul of human labor. Asterisk, they're hacking into AI fleets, disabling sensors, jamming GPS systems, and spreading blueprints of sabotage online. Their motto? Steal shouldn't think. Meanwhile, in the digital underworld, something darker brews. Hacktivist groups are beginning to see China's AI fleets not just as a threat to labor, but as a global surveillance tool. In forums buried deep in the web, plans are being drafted to corrupt the neural networks, introduce false data streams, and create ghost convoys, AI trucks that don't exist but overload the system with phantom logistics. It's a cyber war with real-world consequences. And so far, the battlefield is invisible to most governments. The consequences go far beyond the job market. When thousands of truck stops close, when gas stations vanish, and roadside diners go out of business, entire rural economies begin to collapse. In India, where trucking is a backbone of blue-collar employment, experts predict tens of millions could be affected if local governments adopt similar AI fleets. The cost of transition may be higher than any nation is prepared for. But here's the most dangerous part. Once a country plugs into China's AI logistics grid, there's no easy way out. From cloud-based coordination to part supply chains and remote diagnostics, every layer of the system is tethered to Chinese platforms. It's not just adoption, it's digital dependence. Imagine a nation whose food, medicine, and defense supplies all rely on an algorithm you don't control. Now imagine that algorithm is updated from Beijing. Asterisk, and here's the final twist. Economists are now warning that in less than a decade, asterisk AI systems may not just deliver trade. They may start to negotiate it. With AI analyzing market trends in real time, autonomous trucks won't just follow instructions. They'll bid for routes, optimize trade agreements, and even decide pricing between suppliers. The future of commerce could soon be decided by machines. A world where your country's economy is no longer shaped by policy, but by software updates. And then it happens. A massive logistics blackout, somewhere between Inner Mongolia and Eastern Europe. A digital fault ripples through the grid. Autonomous convoys stall mid-route. Food shipments vanish into AI loops. Ports stand paralyzed. For the first time, the world witnesses the fragility of a system it no longer understands. Governments panic. Stock markets dive. But it's too late to pull the plug. Too much depends on a machine that doesn't sleep and now refuses to wake up. As sunrise breaks over Beijing's skyline, one final truck completes its route, without a driver, without a command. It's simply new. The system resets. Routes re-engage. The world breathes again. But something has changed. We are no longer steering the wheel, just passengers on a highway designed by someone else. The question isn't if we trust machines. The question is, do they still need us?